Hey guys, what's up? It's Cover here. If you've liked me, you've always wanted a taste of PvP in old school RuneScape, and earlier this year we got that taste with Deadman mode. Yeah, it was fun, but there's just something about a limited time game mode that just doesn't scratch the itch. Knowing my progress will disappear in 3 weeks just kinda sucks. But I have a foolproof plan that can make you millions of GP hunting bots while you AFK salvage or run blood runes on your second monitor. I have a full-time job, so I'm not playing all day. But it only took me a month to create this pure, and it's only getting stronger. There's some upgrades I may still need, but the realistic absolute minimums for this setup are 75 ranged, 76 mage, and 52 prayer. And then a couple quests. Beyond that, everything is just an upgrade for you. First, let me cover why this build works so well. This entire build rests upon one item, the Tome of Fire. This offhand item will increase your max hit by 50% when you're in PvP and using fire spells. Meaning with Fire Wave, you can actually hit up to 30s because it has a base hit of 20s. This, coupled with the Dragon Crossbow, using Dragonstone Bolts E, allows you to hit a 30 or up to a 47 when the Enchanted Bolt procs. This is some huge damage that you're able to hit, and since you don't need any weapon switches, it's impossible for someone, even bots, to predict what your next hit will be. Altogether, it took about 45 mil in order to set up this account, 3 bonds and about 5 mil for supplies, and then I also loaned my blowpipe from my main to the pure to get the fire cape. So far, I've made about 15 mil in profit, and then I've got 16, I just bought a bond too, so I guess that's another 15 mil. And I'm to a point where I can make a bond in 2 or 3 days, no problem. In the last 2 weeks, I've gotten over 130 kills. I've made about 85 mil. Lost 10 mils to getting surprised by some dragon claws a couple times. And I actually had a lot of fun in the wilderness. For your skills, basically the very first thing you should do on your account is buy 100 dragon bones. And then what you'll do is you'll level up your prayer to level 43. You might get lucky, you might get unlucky. You'll basically just need 100 Dragon Bones and 1 Burning Amulet, and you should be able to hit 43 prayer. It's okay if you go a little bit over. As long as you don't end up hitting over 52 prayer, you'll be fine. After that, you'll do the default quests like Doric's Quest and Night Sword and Tourist Trap for, the free XP and for the agility levels. From there, it's up to you. I would recommend getting a high agility level. It's a lot nicer when you're chasing someone and you don't want to run out of energy. But right now, these are my skills. The only things I really care about leveling up intentionally beyond this are Hunter to 50, so I can use the Sunlight Hunter crossbow, and then Agility just to get it as high as I possibly can. If you want the same kit I have here, then the minimum quests required are going to be Curse of the Empty Lord, a mini quest that gives you ghostly robes, which requires the Dig Site, Fight Arena, Temple of Ikov, and Desert Treasure 1, which means it also requires Death Plateau, Troll Stronghold, the Tourist Trap, which you would have done for agility anyways, Waterfall Quest, and Priest in Peril. You'll also want an Ava's Accumulator so you're not throwing your Dragon Bolts away. So you'll need to complete Ernest the Chicken. Personally, I think questing for XP is actually much more fun than just sitting at the same Iron Rock or spending a bunch of GP to speed up the process. So you're free to do any quest that doesn't get you above 52 prayer or give you defense XP. You should also start, don't complete, Dragon Slayer 1. I think you need to progress until you've obtained the Dragonfire Shield from the Duke of Lumbridge. At that point, you should be able to use Dragonfire potions to protect yourself in the wilderness if needed. And if you do Monkey Madness 1, Do not talk to Daero when you finish the quest, otherwise you'll get the 35k XP in defense, and you'll have to make a void account. Finally, for quests, you can also do the Karen series for complete access to the Arceus spellbook. Maybe it gets buffed one day, you might as well have it done. The Varlamore quest for the Arcan Blade. This quest kicked my ass, I'm not gonna lie, this was kind of rough. And then once you get your Fire Cape, oh, of course, you could get your Fire Cape by loaning yourself a blowpipe from your main. That's why I recommend 75 ranged. And then also the Pirate quest, so you can use the Barrel Chest Anchor at level 50 attack. Because the Bounty Hunter version, like I mentioned earlier, is a unique where it lowers the attack requirements for the Anchor. One other nice thing about this is since they are changing Bounty Hunter, this may be a profitable method in the future, and this might be something I investigate. You can also complete the Elf quest line if you're a Chad to get access to the Crystal Bow or Bofa, but that's more of a flex and doesn't help you all that much for this kit. Just in case you're curious, here's a full quest list of all the quests I've completed. And finally, plugins. Plugins will be very helpful for your PKing journey, and you'll want all the, default ones that you normally use, but there's a couple ones that I think you should definitely have. First is anti-drag. This makes your clicks more consistent and less likely to not register. As you can see here, if I click and drag even a micro of a pixel, it's still letting me switch to the gear I wanted to switch to. So first recommendation is anti-drag. Second recommendation is attack ranges. You might see around my character that I have this like highlighted box. If I go to attack ranges, here you can set what the attack range looks like for different weapons. For instance, when using this sword, it's one tile, so there's no attack range, but using this crossbow, anything within this area will be targetable. Similar, switching over to my dragon throwing axe, you can see that the area is decreased. This is really helpful for when you've entangled someone or snared someone, and you might want to go in for a spec, but you don't know how far away they are and if you'll be able to reach them. The next one is attack styles. Attack styles, especially for pures, is extremely helpful because it removes the attack style for defense. As you can see here with all the weapons that I have, there is no defensive attack style, and that is because this plugin hides them, so I can't even select that option. The next one is player indicators. This will highlight players with their names, especially when they're in the wilderness. This can be used to designate if someone's a player, if you've seen them before. A lot of times people will add you in the wilderness, so that way they can track your movements. So on that note, make sure your private's on when you create a new account. Okay. Next one that I would recommend is Worn Inventory Equipment Viewer. This is this little box I have up here. This is just really helpful if you ever want to make sure, for instance, that your recoils are being used properly, or that you have the right setup when you're trying to actually get into combat. Especially when switches come, this will be a lot more helpful. And yes, maybe you'll lose a couple bolts still, but it's just an easier way without having to switch tabs to see what gear you're wearing. And then the final recommendation is Inventory Viewer. And you can see here that when I am switching to my combat options, perhaps to spec, or if I was looking at my levels or casting a spell, I can still see what's in my inventory and I can instantly click back. So maybe I'm casting Fire Wave, Fire Wave, Fire Wave, and Entangle, 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 and all these spells are splashing, and I want to put on my Zamorak cape, or I noticed that I was wearing my black D-hide chap, so I had negative magic attack. Then that's something that you'd be able to notice more easily with this Worn Equipment Viewer, or with this Inventory Viewer, excuse me. Inventory Viewer, this one. With Protect Item Prayer on, so as long as I don't get smited, I'm only risking about 1,000,000 gold. I can easily make this back in just 2 or 3 kills, taking 5 minutes. Once you've gotten comfortable, you can upgrade to the Elder Chaos hood, top, and robe, as well as an occult necklace and the imbued Zamorak cape, giving you an extra 10% magic damage, meaning that your max hit will now be a 33. It also gives you a significant attack bonus for magic, allowing you to hit more accurate snares, entangles, or teleblocks. If you are planning on bringing this build to the Bounty Hunter Canyon, you probably should level up your melee to about level 50, because that's what's necessary to use the barrel-chested anchor when you have it imbued with the Bounty Hunter imbue. But beyond that, there's nothing wrong if you want to bring some melee gear as well to help out with your switches and just practice to get better. Cover is my inventory here. So in my inventory, I've got a couple different things that I just want to, share with you, enlighten you why I have it. So this is pretty much standard pure gear. So combat bracelet instead of mithril gloves. Amulet of Glory gives pretty good offensive capabilities all across the board. And Ghostly Robes is +2 magic and +2 magic defense and offense. In my actual inventory though, I've got a Ceradome and Brew for triple eats, so I can use my Manta Ray, Krombuan, and Sarah's, followed by a Restore to get my stats back up. Then I also, and this has saved me quite a few times, so it's valuable to have. I also have a Forgotten Brew to boost my magic up, so I can cast Teleblock. As you can see right now, I can't. At a time, I also was using this at 76 magic. You also cannot cast Entangle, so it's also going to boost you for Entangle. Then I also bring the Super Combat Potion for my melee switch. Right now, I'm mostly learning to make sure. None of my clips really have me using melee because I don't really need it, but I recently hit 50 attack and I need to begin learning how to integrate melee into my combat. The next thing I have are the ranging potion, and which I'm, it's standard for Dragon Crossbow. That's my main DPS weapon. Then Blighted Mana Rays, if we check these out, these are so cheap, 135 per. I'm risking like nothing. I'm using normal Krombuans because there have been times where I leave the wilderness, I'm on like 20 HP and I'm venomed. It's like, ah, shit, I don't want to die. So I just bring these. I mean, it's kind of just like I'm lazy. I could just buy the blighted ones, but I have like 500 left of these, so I'm just going to keep using them. I start with drinking stamina and eating blighted anglerfish, boosting me to 83. I bring a phoenix necklace, and the reason I bring this is for D-claw specs and dragon dagger specs. If you ever do get anti-PK'd, or there are other bigger fish in the pond, you're going to need something to at least protect yourself and get out of danger when they do these specs. And the Phoenix Necklace is unique because it will prevent you from taking damage from any source past the first damage that took you below a certain threshold of health. I will admit this doesn't always work. For instance, if you only have 24 health left and a claw hits a 24, you're going to die. It's not going to save you. But if that claw was to hit, a 15, you would have been okay. So that's just some insight into why I have the Phoenix Necklace. I have the Zamorak cape just in case I am really not hitting any entangles. I can switch off my accumulator, try to get a better hit. Dragon Throwing Axe is my spec weapon. This, although you might think is not the best spec weapon, it has a max hit, I believe, of 19 when potted, and using my spec ability, and you can get a lot of damage off in a very short time, allowing you to basically spec someone out in just a few ticks. So it's kind of like a poor man's spec weapon, but it's better than having nothing, especially when you get a good freeze and the bot's just sitting there with Protect Mage on. Lastly, I have Leaf Bladed Sword, Climbing Boots for melee, and then Black D'hide Chaps for the same reason I have the Zamorak Cape, just so I can be a little bit more accurate sometimes. Then for runes, I bring, for every 50 blood runes, you should have 250 air runes, or basically it's a 1-to-5 ratio of blood to air runes. I bring about 20 teleport sacks. This is because you're not going to die that often. You might as well just have them on you. It's kind of annoying to come back here if every few times just to refill it, but you can if you want. And then I bring 50 entangle sacks for that same reason, just so that way I can make sure I'm hitting my snares and getting away with it, yeah. So that's a breakdown of what's going on in my inventory. One other little quick tip, you see how long it takes to run to this pool of refreshment and then you're like delayed by a tick before you can move again? It's so much faster to just go in this free-for-all portal and leave, instantly full health. I wish it recharged your spec, it doesn't. Not quite sure how to get that done, but it's not the biggest deal. And yeah, that's about all I got for you. I got a couple clips here, just like the best clips I picked up from the week. Either making a lot of money or killing real people, trying to anti-PK. And yeah, I hope to make another video maybe explaining the process of how I made my pure personally. Like the hiccups that I had, you know, how I killed Jad, finishing all the quests. Because it was pretty fun, and it was a challenge to do on one defense with like 60 combat. So yeah, not only did I get better at RuneScape, but I'm making money while I'm doing it. So yeah, enjoy these clips, and hopefully I'll make another video soon if this one goes well.
we tread with tired eyes, slaying champions under haunted skies. Cast a spell, blade flash ignite. In the shadows we begin our fight. Owl in hand, we toast our wins. Razor howl and feel the spins. Popping pots to heal the pain. Dungeon calls, we go again. Skeleton knights with rusted chain. Darkness wraps their cold domain.